Who's trying to reach me? Hey, Scotty, how you doing, bud? Okay, listen, call Mom. I'm getting ready to do cut-ins, and we'll get you squared away, but she'll talk to you, okay? Okay, well, I'll give you a call back when I'm done with the cut-ins, okay? Bye. Okay. Danny, if you're there. Okay, I don't need to cast to that. All right, I believe we are streaming live now on our 13 News Now Plus app, and we may have this out on YouTube as well. The main thing is we're trying to get some information out to folks on the go. We know it's a holiday. A lot of folks are out and moving and may not be able to pick up their news through the regular chances of just sitting down and watching TV. So what we're going to do right now is go ahead and talk to you about what's happening. We've got some very heavy rain out to the west. No severe warnings. This is just, again, some bonus weather coverage to keep you updated on the threats to the region. And we're going to start off by taking a look at the fact that we do have this weather alert day. You see the graphic there. And again, we're looking for the greatest chance for stronger storms later this afternoon and into the early evening. Now, the primary concerns with this will be damaging wind gusts and heavy downpours. There might be some hail, but we also need to stay alert to the potential for isolated tornadoes. You can see, and I've got the Storm Prediction Center's outlook shaded into that box. You see that yellow? That's indicating a level 2 threat. That's for our entire area. As I scoot back the map a little bit, you can see it's really for much of the East Coast. But certainly for our area, that's what we're going to continue to watch. Basically today, we're looking for showers and storms to develop later this afternoon and into the evening. We already have some very intense rainfall out to the west. And again, nothing severe right now, but with the rain coming down at some pretty impressive rates, there could be some issues with some flash flooding or some runoff issues. We saw a lot of that yesterday in Norfolk. Surf height at the beach is 2 to 3 feet. That sounds pretty good. The water temperature is at 71 degrees, so it's not bad at all. But again, we'll need to watch that radar as we have chances for storms this afternoon. In general, the marine forecast isn't looking too bad, but this is a very big consideration as we get into the day here, and especially this afternoon. You're going to want to stay up on that radar because obviously if you have thunderstorms out there on the water, even though the general conditions call for south winds 10 to 15, maybe gusting to 20 knots, around thunderstorms you could have tremendous outflow and you could see some winds gusting up 50, maybe even 55 or 60 miles per hour. You get special marine warnings around those severe thunderstorm warnings. So obviously the conditions could become very treacherous out on the water. Can't stress it enough. Stay weather aware through the afternoon. All right, now we're going to dive into the radar in just a moment, but let me remind you, a great way to always have our forecast is through our 13 News Now mobile app. And obviously, if you're watching here on the Plus app, we're also available on Roku and all of our streaming services. You can get us on social media as well. So here's a look at the big picture. Eastern half of the country, you can see scattered showers and storms kind of bearing down on us right now. I want to take a closer look at this, and we're going to start off by showing you where the front's located. And currently, that front is out to our west, well to the west. But as we go through the afternoon and into the evening, I want you to know that's going to get closer to us, and eventually we're going to see more chances for stronger showers and storms. Now, we have an area of pretty heavy rain. I'm going to switch over to the live radar sweep, and as we take a look, I also have lightning detection turned on. Let's take a look and see just how many lightning strikes we've had. This is just for areas north of Franklin. That cluster right there, lightning strikes, we've seen total of 77 lightning strikes. Okay, so that's just within the last 20 minutes or so. South of that, when you go south of Franklin, and let me go ahead and run this out here. Hang on a second. This is going to be areas south of Franklin down through Ahoskie. That area has seen 310 strikes. So a whole lot of lightning there south of Franklin, lesser amounts up towards Wakefield. But this whole line is very impressive. And as I mentioned, we do have the lightning out there with those thunderstorms. Looks like we're starting to get a few strikes here a little closer to Hampton Roads here, northern parts of Suffolk. So as we take a look at this, again, just a handful of strikes. Looks like 2 or 3 recently popping up east of Baileytown, back over towards Portsmouth, and you get towards 64, the loop there, northern parts of Chesapeake as well. You may be dealing with that. All of this has been moving along to the east-northeast at about 25 miles per hour. So it is progressing along, but this rainfall has been really something. Let's take a look at the rainfall rates here, and just want to show you, give you a feel for what we've been dealing with, and then we'll also take a look at how much by radar estimation we've had for accumulation. As far as rainfall rates go, we'll ping in here on a couple of these areas shaded in orange. You can see there right now along 258, close to 1.78 inches per hour. This is the type of rainfall you have this moving along for a half an hour or so, and obviously you could get close to an inch of rain. So again, this is a very heavy rain just south of Como. We're looking at about 1.44 inches, and just south of Franklin, there again about 1.78 or an inch and 3/4 per hour. This is by radar estimate. So a lot of rain out there. Now we can take a look at how much rain has fallen. And again, this is by estimation. Let me go and switch that up. Again, we like to show you different types of displays so you can see what's out there and what our threats are. We start looking for potential for flash flooding. Out around Franklin so far, the accumulated rainfall by radar estimate about 1.1 inches. So a healthy amount of rain there. Back towards Boykin, about the same. Down around Murfreesboro, 1.9 inches. So it's been a little heavier farther to the south down into North Carolina where the rain started a bit earlier. So that just gives you a feel. And again, that heavy rain out to the west so far. We saw these showers develop early this morning. They've been lumbering along, moving across I-85, eventually I-95, and now pushing into Hampton Roads, the western areas. So we'll come back to the radar, and let's take a look at some of these rainfall rates right here in Hampton Roads. This is around Belleville and back up just to the east of Crittenden. As we take a look there, rainfall rates have been coming down at a pretty impressive clip. Here we go. And we'll take a look. 2.38 inches, not far from the Monitor Merrimack. So right there, as you're getting ready to get on to the Monitor Merrimack, imagine 2.38 inches of rain coming down. It is going to be very, very slow going across the Monitor Merrimack with that intense rainfall. Now, you get up to the Newport News side, the east end, and it's fairly light. But this stuff, again, coming over the southern tip of the Monitor Merrimack and areas just off to the west of that, you get down towards Knott's Neck Road and Harborview. These areas here seeing very intense rainfall. One more time here just to show you College Drive. Let me put the rainfall rates back up again. Super intense. All right, 2.21 inches per hour. So you can expect more of this. I was asked in our morning meeting on 13 News, we meet as a news room and as a news team, and they asked about it. They said, could we see similar amounts of rain to what we saw yesterday? And the answer is, yeah, there's so much humidity out there. There is a risk of flash flooding, and it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Weather Service posting some things up. So we're going to watch for that. I'm going to go ahead and put on our auto watch and warning query here and just see. And right now, still so far so good, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if we did see some different, flash flood or at least urban flood advisories, urban small stream flood advisories going up. That is a very heavy line of rain out there to the west. Now, for Hampton Roads, again, we've got this batch coming through. So if you're out around Deep Creek, back over towards Western Branch, you're getting some of that more intense rainfall starting to pick up where you are, just out there to the west. Ahoy Acres, Baileytown, we're seeing the intense rain. And now we're starting to see light showers filling in around Azalea Acres, Colonial Place, back up towards Naval Station, Norfolk. We're getting some light to moderate rain. Rain right now over the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel and up towards Hampton, Buckrow, those areas, seeing some light showers all the way up through Poquoson. It's been kind of hit and miss back up through Newport News. You head over to Menchville. We've got dry conditions, or you're just on the edge of some light showers there. there. It becomes more intense as you go farther north. And Williamsburg, for the moment, in pretty good shape. I think about folks that might have been heading out to Busch Gardens today, and they're looking out to the west and seeing all kinds of crazy dark skies to the west of Williamsburg. So they're going to, I'm sure with the lightning out there too, they may have to suspend some of the rides, especially those roller coasters. They don't like to take any chances with that, at least until this line slides through. So this is moving along. I'll track it for you live here in just a moment. Notice more showers down through North Carolina, northern sections of Currituck and Camden, seeing a little bit into northern Pasquotank as well. So Moyock, maybe a couple sprinkles there, but South Mills back over to Cora Peak, more showers and some moderate pockets of rain. The heavy stuff, though, still to the west from Ahoskie up through Murfreesboro, Mill Neck, Sunbeam. Franklin, you are in it now. If you're picking us up there with our 13 News Now Plus coverage, you've got heavy rain there over towards Lee's Mill. Very intense rainfall right there around 260. You can see 2.21 inches of rain per hour right there. So a lot of rain for you out towards Franklin. Let me clear that out. And I do want to track this for you, so let me turn off the lightning and we'll clean this up just a little bit so we can get a good look at what's going on with all of this. And basically what I want you to see, I'm going to take you back 1 hour and we're going to measure this out together. Okay, you see the intense rainfall. As I take it backwards in time, back 1 hour, I can go ahead and take a quick look. I'm doing this on the screen. Okay, in the last hour, we have seen this stuff go from right down here all the way up. Well, it looks like it's moving a lot quicker here, okay? It's showing 46 miles per hour, so it's actually starting to pick up. Earlier, these things were moving about 25 up to about 30, but as we take a look here, this is just within the last hour. Notice the leading edge of that rain, so I'd say from there, coming up over the last hour to right there. See that motion, that's about 46. So I'm going to say, because I started it just a little east, it's more like about 42 miles per hour or so moving off. So we take our squall, let me clear this, and we're going to take a look at this line and continue to run it off at that speed. The leading edge of this intense rainfall here, which comes down, and we'll run it off in this direction. Up, it dropped it, hang on. Let me start from right here, bring it up right through here, and then run it in that direction. Up, there we go. Okay, so that puts this intense rainfall picking up around Windsor, 11:02. In a couple of minutes, you can see Rushmere around 11:06, Smithfield around 11:09. If it all holds together and makes that run towards Kings Fork, it would be around 11:13 or so. And then downtown Suffolk around 11:17, Baileytown 11:23. And again, this is the next wave. I know Baileytown's already seeing some pretty intense rainfall, but that would be the next wave of the more intense activity. Now, we can do some other things. We can take a look at velocity. So far, we're not seeing any couplets or any signs of rotation anywhere. That's all certainly good news. So nothing to worry about there. Not really looking at much shear here. I didn't mean to do that. Hang on one second. Clear that up. Again, not seeing any signs of shear or anything of concern right now. So this is good. Basically, what we're dealing with right now, just a good rainfall and some dangerous lightning. So not that you want to deal with lightning, certainly not on Memorial Day. But again, we're not seeing any rotating cells at this point or anything too crazy. Now, I would imagine that with that line and that intense rainfall, you're probably looking at some winds gusting up 35 to 40 miles per hour. The outflow out ahead of this as it's moving to the east-northeast at about 42 miles per hour or so. So you're probably getting some push. You might feel that air cool down a little bit and you get a little rush of wind outside of that. So we'll continue to watch for that. But aside from that, no warnings at this time, and that is certainly a relief. So we did want to show you that. All right, I'm going to loop this over the last hour. You can see how things are moving along. That heavy rain now has pushed past most of the Monitor Merrimack. We are seeing it up now at Newport News, and it's just about to downtown Hampton. It's reaching the Hampton River there. So you can see around Raleigh Terrace back over towards the mouth there of the Hampton River. You're getting it. Phoebus is about to see some heavier rain there. We'll see that moving along right over Hampton Roads and approaching the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Again, rain filling in now. Little Creek, you're seeing the showers. East Beach, East Ocean View, all the way through West Ocean View and Willoughby, you've got the showers right now. As you come down south, Norfolk, the whole downtown area dealing with some light to moderate rain, but the heavy stuff where it's really raining to beat the band out around Edgefield, Sterling Point, Boone. You head out towards the 264-64 interchange. Much of Portsmouth now dealing with this very heavy rain as it moves along. Virginia Beach, you're still in good shape. In fact, we can take a look live out there. I think I can give you a look at the ocean front with one of our priority automotive sky views, and I'll do that for you here. Let me pull one up. Let's go take a look at D here. There you go, down to the ocean front. Right now, skies are partly cloudy. There's actually a lot of folks out there, and the beach forecast doesn't look bad at all early on, but you know the chances for storms, they are building, and we do have the rain out to the west. So a lot of folks out there at the beach. Right now, the water temperature is 71, low risk of rip currents, waves 2 to 3 feet. It's a great beach day. But what we've been stressing all morning is you have to stay weather aware. You know what's out there to the west and what we have the potential to see a little bit later on. I want to take you to our future cast, and we'll show you how our model here, this is the HER model, how it plays out, bringing that line of intense rain in from the west, and later this afternoon, isolated strong to severe storms. This is an updated future cast. I want to back it up just a little bit here so you can see how some storms come through, and then later this evening around 6 to 6:30, 7 o'clock, now you're getting a line of very intense storms kind of redeveloping for northeast North Carolina and along Virginia Beach at the ocean front up towards the eastern shore, and even some over towards the middle peninsula. Don't want to have anybody drop their guard off to the north. The good news is once that stuff moves out, you can see we're in much better shape as we head through the overnight. We clear it out. Tomorrow should be mostly to partly sunny. Slight risk of a couple showers down to the south of the Albemarle Sound, but that is the latest guidance. So we are looking at the potential for, again, those heavy storms this afternoon and into the evening. And then once that moves out, we're in good shape for tomorrow. Really excited about that. All right, let's zoom back in and get back into the radar here. And I'm going to take a quick sip of coffee. I knew it was going to be hot. Again, we're just doing this live kind of free form. If we were doing a broadcast right now, we'd be worried about getting out, not stepping on programming, not stepping on commercials and all the other things we have to think about with television broadcasts. If you're tuning in right now, it's because you're interested in it. I love the fact that we've got folks checking us out on our 13 News Now Plus app. It's a great way to stay up, and I do want to spend a little more time. We talked about Williamsburg and how just out to the west of Busch Gardens, they were seeing the skies getting really dark. Take a look right now. First Colony, Warren Mill. We've got intense rain there. So it is really reaching now across the James and coming across over to the Williamsburg area. You go back on the other side of the James River, you get into Surrey, and you've got intense rain right there in the town of Surrey in Surrey County. That extends down through Beachland, and you go down south of that. Ivor, you just came through with some really intense rain. It's actually starting to get a little bit better. It's easing up for you in Ivor. Zuni, you're right on the edge of it. You come down through Carsville and Kingsdale, some of these communities around Franklin, very intense rain. And that extends all the way down through Mill Neck. You get into Hertford County, back down towards Murfreesboro and Ahoskie. The rain's still pretty intense there. Now, it sounded like just above our heads here at the 13 News Now studios that we were starting to maybe hear a little bit of thunder. So what I want to do, I'm going to switch up and take a look at our Norfolk cam as we go to a live look again. This is our priority automotive sky view. This is at the tower here at 13 News Now. And it looks like the rain is starting to come down a little bit. That's how it's kind of appearing. And I can even hear a little bit of it on our studio roof. So we can just stay with that for a second. You'll see the rainfall starting to intensify here in downtown Norfolk. I don't know if you can hear that or not picking up on the mic, but we can hear a little bit of rain on the studio roof. So this is from our tower, again, the Priority Automotive Sky View. And we do have this weather alert day. We put it out because we have the threat of severe weather, mainly this afternoon and evening, and we are bracing for the potential isolated to scattered, strong to severe storms. Thus far, no warnings across our area, but we have had some very intense rainfall, especially out to the west. And again, I do anticipate for some folks there could be some runoff flooding issues, maybe some urban small street flood advisories being issued here, if not flood warnings eventually, as some of these heavier cells continue to move. So here you go. Timing on this afternoon and evening. Primary threats could be damaging winds, some outflow. There's also the potential for very heavy downpours, which we've been talking about. And then there's that risk of isolated tornadoes. And a lot of times when we talk about the potential impacts with some of these severe weather outlooks that are put out by the Storm Prediction Center, we'll talk about maybe winds and a little bit of hail, but tornadoes sometimes aren't as big a threat. In this case, we do have an elevated risk that some of these cells that develop could become supercells with some potential rotation. So that is certainly something that we are monitoring for. But if you've been watching me here for a little bit on this 13 News Now Plus kind of bonus weather coverage, I had mentioned earlier, so far we're not seeing any shear, and there's really no clear signs of any rotation either. So no couplets or anything like that showing up yet. All right, we're going to go back to the radar and the satellite images, and I want to zoom in. You can see there's actually a little break out to the west, but we've got to deal with this line coming through here. This kind of will do a couple of things, this line coming through. It's going to cool temperatures a little bit. It's also going to drop a lot of moisture. The question is, after this line comes through, and let's say this comes through by about noon or say maybe 1 o'clock or so, there's going to be a dry period. And out here, if we get a little more clearing on the backside of this system, that could recharge the atmosphere and set up another potential round for late afternoon and evening. That's one of the concerns. If it doesn't come back as much, maybe we luck out and it's not as bad. That would be wonderful with everybody having everything going on. But the models are still producing more of the intense rainfall later this afternoon. So by no means should anyone drop their guard. All right, so I mentioned that heavier rain coming into Norfolk, starting to hear a little bit more on the rooftop here in the downtown area. Still light to moderate. I can zoom in and show you our studios are located right here, very close to Colley Avenue. This is our location at 13 News Now, right there where it says Front Street. We're located there. So just kind of light to moderate rain now, but just out as you look back towards the Norfolk Southern terminals and the drive there, Lambert's Point, back over towards Naval Station, Norfolk. Really intense rainfall picking up at the Navy Pier right now. You can see, again, that extends all the way up across Hampton Roads to the east end of Newport News and really downtown Hampton now, Settlers Landing, that area, seeing some very intense rainfall right now. So this is where we have it for you. You're going to continue to see this intense rainfall around Hampton as well. The mouth right there of the Hampton River dealing with some pretty intense rain. That extends down south and it runs all the way down through Portsmouth and into the western branch section now of Chesapeake. You're seeing it. Deep Creek, you're kind of seeing some lighter rain where you are, so you've lucked out. Farther south right now, Great Bridge in pretty good shape. It is raining, but it's more like light to moderate rain. We've got some light showers showing up back towards Fentress and then out into the western parts of Virginia Beach. For most of the morning, Virginia Beach has been in great shape, but the intense rainfall is filling in out to the west, and the line of heaviest rain extends from West Point down through areas west and northwest of Williamsburg. Some great communities up around Croker and Norge, Lightfoot, love those areas up there. Fort Colony, you're seeing some of that intense rain, and that continues to run down through Surrey and areas south of that. So again, it's nothing severe at this point. Fortunately, we're still in pretty good shape, but we wanted to take some time here with our 13 News Now Plus app to give you the bonus weather coverage. And again, if you have our apps downloaded on your mobile devices, you're all set. If we do have severe weather and we have to do special coverage, you'll get it here. You'll get updates and alerts from our whole weather team. Hearing some thunder just outside the studios. Better turn back on that lightning detection because that rain now really starting to pick up here as well. It's getting a lot louder here at 13 News Now. Let me turn on our lightning as we put on the reflectivity. And you can see a few of those lightning strikes right now coming into the downtown area. So a few of them, a handful of lightning strikes. We're just hearing the thunder. The lightning's a lot more frequent, though, up towards Williamsburg, areas just west of Williamsburg. Look at it coming down right now. Colonial Williamsburg getting doused with a heavy rain. I want to check those precip rates again. Right around Williamsburg, 1.16, just north of Grove there. 2.21 inches. Lee Hall, about 1 2/3 inches per hour. So a lot of rain down there. You can see, as far as rainfall goes here at Naval Station Norfolk, the rain's coming down right now. At a good clip, we have rainfall rates of about 1 inch, 1.2 inches per hour or so. That extends down through Glenwood Park. You've got similar rainfall rates there. More intense rain just now rolling towards across a Hatton Point Road over towards Briarwood. Let's take a look at that. That's a deep red there. So let's see what they have. 2.95 inches per hour. I knew that was going to be a lot more intense there. Almost 3 inches of rain per hour. Think about those poor drainage areas, some of the underpasses in Norfolk. They fill up very quickly. We could see some more of that. That's what we dealt with yesterday, and that was an ongoing issue. So we continue to watch that. Again, the rain has been light, still dry at the ocean front. We can check back in. Let's take a look at a few more of our sky views here. Priority Automotive sky view here. I'm showing you the downtown area. Look at the heavy rain that extends right now back over towards Portsmouth. As a matter of fact, stay with us here. I'm going to walk back behind and just adjust the camera. You can see it. We're hearing more lightning now, and I'm going to swing the camera around so we can get a look at this intense rainfall that is coming through the Portsmouth area and crossing over the Elizabeth River. There's a live look. There's Naval State, or the Navy Hospital there in Portsmouth, the Portsmouth Naval Hospital. And then looking back out to the west, you can see how intense this rain is. So very intense rain right now. And we continue to watch this. We do have an opportunity there as we swipe over the camera. Wouldn't you know, it just took it out. I'm going to auto iris that. There we go. One more time with our windshield wiper there to wipe those raindrops off. You can see right now that rain coming down, pretty good clip. Heaviest rain still out to the west, the Williamsburg area getting soaked, but the rain is now coming down. You can see Brambleton Avenue, and it's getting harder to make out some of the buildings in downtown Norfolk. We'll check a couple more of our Priority Automotive sky views. I want to give you a look at what's happening down at the ocean front. As I come back into camera here, you'll see me jump back in. Can you hear that? Is it picking up? Yeah, it's rain coming down in buckets right now in downtown Norfolk. All right, so from here we can give you a quick look at the DQ cam. Let's see if it's plugged in. You can see clouds increasing down there. Again, this one showing the view from the Dairy Queen right there along the boardwalk. It's a great location. We can always see a lot of the activity and excitement down at the ocean front. Right now, I'm going to swing back to Norfolk just for a second because it is so loud. Let's check in on the Jordan Bridge. We'll see if we have that. Jordan Bridge is wet, but you can see the rain there lighter. Cars coming across, shining some lights there on the Jordan Bridge. As we check back in, I don't know if Hampton is plugged in right now. Let's see what we have. Oh, nope, we got to refresh Hampton. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple more of our cameras here. The beach cam for beach quarters, again, showing still dry conditions, folks there out at the ocean front. Not too worried yet, but you guys are seeing what's coming, and eventually they're going to see some rain out there as well. At the Chamberlain, the view, again, if that was up, would be showing some very intense rainfall. For our Nauticus cams, look at the heavy rain coming down here. This one, taking a look at Town Point Park. That really gives you a good feel for the rain blowing right there. This is located at Nauticus, looking back towards Town Point Park. The other direction, we're also seeing intense rainfall there on the Elizabeth River. So that's some of our Priority Automotive sky views. Wanted to share that with you. Again, we do have a weather alert day. These are not severe storms, but we have the potential for severe weather later this afternoon and into the evening. And even if it's not severe, at the rate that this rain is coming down, we may have some issues with some runoff and some potential urban small stream flooding. And that's something else that we're going to be watching for. Real quickly, I'm going to just check in with, wanted to see what we had. A special marine warning was just issued, okay. And that was that came out just a little while ago. That was for the James River. So that cell that moved across the James River over towards Williamsburg, very intense down through the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. Again, we were looking at winds, very gusty there. And you're talking about gusts 34 knots or greater, so winds up to close to 40 miles per hour. And the movement that the National Weather Service had on that was, again, right around 40 miles per hour. So moving northeast about 45 miles per hour or so. Listen to the rain. It is coming down at an incredible rate right now. I want to go back to our radar. We'll take a look here and zoom in with our high definition live sweep. Let's zoom in to Hampton Roads. Okay, we're diving in, and here's the heavy rain that we were seeing, some of those oranges and reds. Right now, it just sounds like somebody's just turned on a fire hose on our ceiling and our rooftops here. Let's take a look. 1.34 inches, so it's going to get even more intense here at the 13 News Now studios. Incredible, really, really heavy rain coming down here. 1.5 inches there, just off over Portsmouth around the Naval Hospital. 2.38 inches up towards Coast Guard Boulevard. So very heavy around the Norfolk southern terminals, Lambert's Point. And you think about the train yards there at the terminals, Norfolk Southern. Very, very intense rain. Maybe slowing operations a little bit. I don't know that for sure, but when you get this much rain, I'm sure it kind of gives people a moment to take a look as this is coming through. This intense rain now coming down over the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. We also have it over Willoughby Spit. A very intense rain, Naval Station, Norfolk, and then back down towards Larchmont, Lambert's Point, obviously. And it's filling in down into South Norfolk as well. So let's take a look at this area here. I want to zoom into South Norfolk a little bit. You can see around Berkeley Avenue, very intense rain there. Compostela, you're getting this intense rainfall down through South Norfolk over to Plymouth Park. And these areas just off to the west of that. Now out towards Virginia Beach, you look at the ocean front. We keep showing you the resort area. A lot of folks in town for the holiday weekend, and they're enjoying themselves, but they're going to probably need to take shelter before too long. As we zip back out there, skies are increasing with clouds. It looks like maybe a few people have come in off the beach, but you guys saw what is moving across the area. Want to come back to downtown Norfolk. We've got this cold front that is going to push through, and out ahead of it, this air mass is very warm and very unstable. So that's why we're dealing with this. Non-severe, but intense. We've already had the special marine warning for that cell that moved across the James River and into the Hampton Roads area. This area here, I would think boaters or enthusiasts that were going to head out of Little Creek may want to put off those plans as this intense rainfall is coming over towards that. And folks in Lynn Haven, again, you probably don't want to mess with this coming out as this is moving along at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. Let me put a track on this for you. And you can see right now as this is moving along to the northeast, it should reach this area, this heavier rain coming up on Algonquin Park right now, Fairmount Park by 11:24, Azalea Acres around 11:26, Lake Shores 11:31, Bayside 11:33, and back towards Bay Island by 11:39. So some beautiful parts of the area, but obviously all these areas concerned with too much rain coming all at once. So we definitely want to keep a close eye to that. Clear this out and take a look a little farther to the north. Folks up on the eastern shore wondering, will some of this intense rainfall get to their area? Let's put a cone on this. If it continues to move off in this direction, it could reach Kiptopeke by about 11:39. So you've got about 19, 20 minutes or so before it would likely reach Kiptopeke on this break. Townsend around 11:42 and up towards areas farther north. You head farther north along Northampton up towards Sheridan, and you get there around 11:47. Gloucester Point, I'm noticing some heavy rain filling in now up just off to your south and to your southeast. You've got one cell, but you see right now, if you're in Gloucester, what is working across Grove and Homewood and the Williamsburg area, all of this now moving, and its radar just updated. Look at this incredibly intense area right here. I'm interested to see what this rainfall velocity is. This is by radar estimate, but you look at that area, deep red, shaded right there. Precipitation rate by radar estimate is somewhere around, come on. I wonder why it's not updating right there. Let's try it one more time. Interesting, we just lost our radar rate on that. Okay, not sure why that did that. back out, try it one more time here. Maybe it's thinking about it. That could be it. At any rate, I would venture to say that's probably 3.5 inches per hour, something like that, based on the intensity of that color. So very, very heavy rain right there. Let me go ahead and erase that, and we'll take a closer look. I'm going to zoom back into this intense area right here with our rainfall rate. Yeah, it's just not wanting to figure that one out. Okay, well, what's happening right now, we've got very intense rainfall across parts of the area. The heaviest hit areas right now, again, it's Gloucester back over across the bridge there. You come onto the peninsula, and Battle Park up through Lackey, Rochambeau Village, back up towards Williamsburg. Very intense rain. You're actually getting close to the backside of this first colony. Things are going to get a lot better for you in very short order. As we look down to the south, intense rainfall now moving across Suffolk. Really, most of Chesapeake hasn't had it too bad, but Western Branch and Deep Creek, you got some very intense rainfall. Now that rainfall is moving across Norfolk and is moving towards the East Ocean View area, back over towards Little Creek. Eventually, Chicks Beach, you're going to get it as well. Go ahead and put a quick squall line on this just to show you this intense rainfall right down through here as it's moving off to the east-northeast. And as it moves along, you see some of the corresponding times. Azalea Acres, probably within the next 4 or 5 minutes or so, you'll see it there. Aragona, got it around 11:29. Little Haven at 11:35, and again, Broad Bay Colony 11:36. Bay Island about the same. So that's as it is moving along as we project it. Fortunately, at this time, we do not have any severe weather warnings for the immediate area. Let me go ahead and put our auto query back on here so we can make sure we get a good look at everything. And as we do that, take a look, see, still no advisories or any flood statements there official. So that is certainly good news. A lot of lightning out there, folks. So even if we don't have severe weather with these storms coming through right now, there's a lot of dangerous lightning. You want to be inside. You want to stay away from windows and doors, obviously. Interior rooms, always a good idea during a thunderstorm. We'll deal with this. It's going to come through, and then we'll have to see how much the atmosphere recharges heading into the afternoon. It's right now coming up on 11:25. We've been at this for a while now. I do want to take a break and get everything set up for our noon show. I'll have some updated futurecast information, and we'll take a closer look at the severe weather threat later this afternoon. We appreciate you trusting us here at 13 News Now with your weather information, and our entire team is always working round the clock. Evan and Tim will be in together this afternoon to keep a close eye on things, and they'll let you know if severe weather does in fact develop. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. We'll take a look at the radar. Again, I'll leave it up for you for just a moment, but I'm going to get ready for the noon show. Guys, thank you so much for being with us, and stay tuned to 13 News Now, our digital platforms, and our mobile app for more weather information throughout the day.